So over the past few days, we've had this great experience of being able to build homes for families. Got to immerse ourselves in the culture and the people of Guatemala. We had a group of about 33 of us coming from West Michigan, and we came down to Guatemala with the intention of bringing Christ's word to these people and being able to provide them with a home and other goods that maybe they don't have access to. And with our team, in just a matter of a couple of days, we went from having just a slab of concrete to actually constructing walls and a roof, and we were able to paint the home. Both interior and exterior were finished. And then we were able to dedicate these homes to these families, pray over these families, pray for the house. We all come to these mission trips with different skills and gifts. One of my passions is music, so I was able to take a guitar from Michigan and bring it down to Guatemala. Being able to play music quietly while we're presenting the gospel with the local pastors here and present the gospel while we pray and sing around this home was one of the most wonderful experiences. We had a total of 5 homes we were able to provide for 5 different families, and all these families were able to accept Christ through this process. There's no greater joy than being able to see people come to know the Lord.
I think what impacted me the most so far this week was the day that we did dedications, so I didn't really know what to expect. So to conclude the house dedication to the family, we all got on our knees and surrounded them and laid our hands on the couple that we built the house for, and we prayed for them, and the pastor was praying for them. It was in Spanish and I couldn't really understand it, but it was still, he was praying so powerfully, and it moved me to tears. I was crying the whole time, and yeah, I think that was the single most moving experience I've had, not just on this trip, but in my faith so far in my life.
We have one kid on our trip that walked in. He's got a lot of deep, heavy questions about God. And as we're sitting there today on a day where we spent a lot of time praying, I asked him how it went, and he was just talking, because I know he's got his questions, but he was just talking about, today just kind of started reshaping the way I look at God. And it's starting to break down this thought that maybe I don't need all the answers to really believe that God exists. And for him, that was just a major step in his faith. And as a youth pastor, as a parent, as a church, this is what we're looking for. We want students to be able to step into environments where they get the opportunity to grow in their faith, for their faith to become personal, to become theirs, not just their parents, but to be theirs. And so to be able to see that as a leader, it's priceless.
I would say this experience has changed me. It's made me realize I should spend more time with God and be more joyful for what I have. And it's made me want to do this again, and yeah.
Something that impacted me a lot this week was just the connection that I could have with the people, even though there was so many things that could have been different and that we had a hard time communicating with them. It was the fact that we could connect with them still and grow deeper in relationship to God because of them, and we came here to be a blessing to them, but they ended up being a big blessing to all of us too. So that's something that I'll remember when I go home for sure, and I'll take that into my prayers and my relationship with God.
My relationship with God will change definitely on my view of possessions and stuff that I have. Not to be so angry with little things that kind of happen in my life, because I've seen, these people that are just so happy with what they have, and it definitely, for me, I want to try to live more like that, less with earthly things, more with spiritual things, and I think that's a big thing for me.
There's just something very beautiful about taking students on an international mission trip. It's just a unique opportunity to just kind of expand their worldview, be able to see people that live different than them. And so to be able to get students outside of their normal habitat, it just creates this very unique environment where they just get to see and experience God in just a different way. I mean, just to see our students step in there with so much uncertainty, not any experience in building, really nervous about being able to interact with kids that just speak a different language than what they speak, live differently than what they typically live. And so to see our students step into that uncertainty and all of a sudden figure out that they can do this, they can put in a screw and they can start putting on a wall and putting on stucco, and they realize just how much fun they have, not just helping people, but realizing they're stepping into God's vision for loving your neighbor and stepping into God's vision about building not just a house, but building His kingdom And you do that through one act of love at a time.